We're now on the SLB stand and I'm joined by Chris Banks, who's just joined us after taking part in a panel about digitalisation. Can you share with us what some of the key takeaways were from the discussion?
There's some really interesting subjects that we discussed. Obviously we went down the rabbit hole of artificial intelligence because we always go there at the moment, and we were discussing the fact that we've gone are the days where you would just throw AI as a panacea to solve every single problem, and now that we are using AI more intelligently and we're taking AI, we're thinking about the hypothesis or the business question that we need to ask in an intelligent way, and we're thinking about the data that we have to access, and we're thinking about open data. It's no longer that AI is a solution looking for a problem. We're now beginning to define the problem in a sensible way and use AI to give us the insights that we want from it.
When people talk about AI at the moment, though, there's fair to say there's a fair amount of fear around fear of the unknown, fear of AI. Was that discussed?
The fear of AI was discussed, and we were discussing it in terms of, is AI going to take our jobs? And I would say if you spoke to me 3 years ago, I would have AI anxiety because I was thinking that it could potentially take my job. But that's when we thought that AI would, be able to think like a geologist or think like an engineer. That's not necessarily the case. I mean, I always go back to the great Douglas Adams and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you remember that big machine where they asked it the answer to life, the universe and everything, not a sensible question, and you get the answer of 42. If you ask nonsensical questions to AI, you'll get garbage. And so to formulate those questions, you need the engineers, you need the petrotechnical experts and the subject matter experts to ask sensible things of the data. Without it, it's just a machine regressing in p-dimensional space and coming back with an answer that you don't know if you can use.
And finally, from the SLB perspective, how is AI already being used, or how do you foresee AI being used going forward?
So AI is taking the grunt work out of lots of things that we used to do manually, but it's also making sure that we're creating less waste. So for instance, we used to have tools come back from offshore and they would need seals changed, and we would make those seals to be changed periodically, every 12 months, every 6 months, whether they needed it or not. So there were lots of things that went in the bin just because we needed to make sure that our tools were robust. Now with AI looking at tools and looking at indicators on the tools, we can do preventative maintenance. We can allow components to last longer if we think they're going to last longer, or whip them out before they fail. So it's actually driving efficiencies. And that is, again, something that is taking the grunt work out of somebody who's got the tool on the bench, don't need to necessarily go and inspect all the components now at that periodic step, because they already have a good idea of what's about to fail and what's going to last longer.
It was a fascinating discussion. Thank you very much for your thoughts. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.